So, Nicole, have you ever felt like you forgot who you were, even for a day or even for a moment? You kind of forgot who you were.
Yeah, it's in a way where I forgot who I was based on the people I would surround myself with.
Mm.
And especially if they tell me how to think, what to do, what life I should live,
Mm-hmm.
what career I should take, and it's mostly around family or like best friends, and like it's usually the people that are closest to you. Isn't that scary? Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that
you have to
scary?
be careful with the people closest to you sometimes because you're right. They can project onto you. I think that you're right. It's the people you are closest to that sort of can make you feel their doubts. I think it's their doubts. It's their doubts.
It is their doubts, and not a lot of people think like you, especially because they think that whatever you're going for won't be as like successful as when they do it. But they're not you.
They're not you. They can't
I'm
see your
not them.
vision.
They can't see it. They can't do it. Because they're not really passionate about it. It's just, oh, I'm doing this,
Yeah.
And a stranger would be like, oh, like good, like like I support you, like go for it, follow your dreams, la la la. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, where like there's a time period where I was just so stressed and like overwhelmed that I did forget who I was because I was like surrounded by people who weren't just on my maturity level, or people who were just really toxic, or people were just very, I guess we're just not compatible. You get me? Like it's just any excuse
Yeah.
you can think of. It's not me. And
Let me ask you, what is it? Would you be yourself? Are you yourself right this second? And if not, how many degrees away are you from you?
me,
From being you right now? Like, are you yourself right now?
on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I? Like, am I myself right
Right
now?
this second.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I say like a 7.
Right now. So how can you be more you?
I guess in a way, I just make more jokes. I'm
Well, make more
more
jokes. So, like, please.
like, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Now ask me, how am I myself right now?
Are you yourself?
I'm a 9, I think, right now.
Yeah.
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 You sure?
I mean, for me, it's a feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
It's like, watch, like, by 9, I mean this, watch. If I take a deep breath, I get closer to being me, watch. The breathing helps, like.
Yeah, it does help.
Do you feel a little bit more like yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Are you an 8 now?
Hmm?
Are you an 8 or 7.2?
Yeah. 7.5.
Like, in a way, our content makes complete sense to us, but to let's say a person that never knew us,
Yeah.
they're almost like, wait, what's going on? 7.2, 7. But it's easy to follow, I think.
Yeah.
But see, like, we gotta be ourselves in a way to just make a content like this.
Have you ever like were in a situation where you just felt like completely like you felt numb, like you weren't you anymore, and then you wondered to yourself, you're just like, where am I?
Yeah. I
I've
don't
been
have it too much, but I kind of can visualize.
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's just so deep in depth. Like, I guess like where you feel like that's where like you're going through like an emotional change, you're going through like major life changes, like you're going through like mental health issues. I feel like once you lose yourself in a touch of like stability, you go through that. Like, oh my God, like where am I? Before I found fitness and nutrition and discipline, I was just hanging out with people who had a lot of mental health issues, and it reflected on me. I never had mental health issues. I just wanted to have mental health issues
To fit in?
To fit in.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and influence is real everywhere where you.
That is so interesting, right? That we can almost be like,
Yeah.
to fit in, I'll make myself worse.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense.
It makes sense.
On the deepest level, how like, I totally get it. Because I think like, sometimes, as of recently, like, I like some music that's like dark and stuff. And then sometimes I'm like, dude, I don't have time to think like that. I just need to focus on getting the work done.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not like, sometimes, yes, it feels good to feel that intensity or that darkness, and suddenly it's like, dude,
Yeah,
I need to work.
that rock vibe, that
Yeah.
oh my god, like oh I'm so numb, but like I get that, like I
And then-
get
and
that,
then-
it feels good,
And then beyond that
it
is like,
feels good, but like
get done what you got to get done.
yeah, and there's just some levels where it's just like okay, well I need to get shit done, like I don't have time to be sad,
Yeah.
I don't have time to overthink, I don't have time to have feelings, you know, because
Right.
I'm just so busy with work, like I need to type, I need to make emails, I need to make content, like you know, I need
Yeah.
to think outside the box in like different boxes, like you know,
Yeah. No, 100%.
100%, I agree.
And sometimes the emotions that maybe a musician might be experiencing, even though they feel good or you're like, that's cool, it's like it'll cloud your own judgment.
Yeah.
And in a way, you're not being yourself for the sake of almost like resonating with the artist. And again, it's kind of a deep conversation because it's like, dude, what? Like,
Yeah.
you're an artist, like, yeah, but maybe you're not. That's not really
Yeah,
you. It's him, but it's not you.
I understand a lot of people, and it's very hard, especially when they come the place where they come from, like everyone's different, like you cannot be yourself because of trauma, you know, like you weren't asked to be raised like that,
Yeah.
so that trauma can like make you not think how you want to think,
Right.
it can make you like pull away from yourself more, and then you question yourself like why is my life like this, like because that's not you.
Yeah.
And like you can make so much money by being yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
ultimately that's the
key,
right?
Yeah, that's being yourself, and people don't.
It can sound corny to some.
It gets super corny. Just be yourself.
But it's not like
love yourself.
It's not like that kind of
self-love.
It's not that tone. Like it's like not that level.
It's just like it's how it comes off because that's how people say it. That's how people do it, and then they never do it.
If you don't trust your core, it's difficult for people to trust you because you're uneasy in your skin.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it all goes down to the secureness you have in yourself. Also, it's really depends, you know.
Yeah.
Not being yourself.
How comfortable are you in your skin?
In my skin?
Like say like in my skin, I feel pretty comfortable.
I'm pretty comfortable, honestly. I try to think it in a way instead of saying like, oh, like, how can I get better?
Yeah.
You know, I'm comfortable. I love myself, honestly. So sometimes I do criticize myself, but yeah, I work harder.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't like how I look on videos.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, okay, well, you already know what to do. Why complain about it? You know, you already know how to eat. You know, you already know that those foods are getting you bloated. Like, why eat them? You know, and it's just like I know I'm putting that on myself, and I know how to fix it. It depends if I want to or not. You know, and it's like when you influence yourself around people, like just the way you eat, you're not being yourself. You know, you can hang out with people, with someone who's a really fast eater who eats a lot, and you're gonna like prone to their characteristic traits by eating fast and eating really, really like big portions when you don't even eat that much. You get me? Like, I think influence is a big thing because it can like it causes major life changes. You know, or like that's why when you surround yourself with fit people, you become fit. When you surround yourself with successful people, you become successful in a way, and it's really healthy because toxicity changes yourself. Like it tells you how to not think, but when it's healthy, you're changing in a way without changing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get me?
Yeah, I do get you.
So I think that's why, like, even though if you're going through a lot of like lack or self-reflection, it's just really based on like who you hang out with. And if you're going through mental health issues, really depends who you're surrounding yourself with. You know, it's every single like detail. Like you're going through stress or overwhelm, like, okay, well, who's distracting you? Stress is just pressure you don't want to deal with, you know. So who you're surrounding yourself with, it goes so depth in psychology that's why isolation is the best key. Being alone when it comes to love, when it comes to like, breakups, when it comes to like finding out who you are, or like when people need that space, self-isolation is like when you're truly yourself because it's only you.
Yeah, I agree. The best, there was a day October, like before October, and somebody somebody I knew went out like downtown or whatever, and like whatever, right? And I was writing on my computer, and I got to this really deep place where it just felt very sacred to just be by myself and write and just honor this inner vibration. Like go down for me, the way isolation works is it comes down to a vibration almost, to this literally like zzz, like and in that deep vibration I feel like this is where I belong. So isolation for me eventually takes me to like a deep vibration.
Yeah, honestly.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's a deep vibration of like who you are and like why do you feel like that.
A lot of with yoga, meditation,
that's your way of like finding yourself. A lot of people find themselves in different ways, like for
me, it just goes to that place. I found myself watching the movie The Joker, and I was writing on artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, about I actually used ChatGPT, and I was like, okay, I'm watching The Joker, and I'm in this really deep place spiritually.
The Joker,
the one with that, and I was like, tell me about this. Why am I doing this? And it went into ChatGPT got into dissecting.
What did it say?
It went into like, just like the Joker, you're sort of rebellious, blah 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 blah. And
you felt rebellious in a way.
It identified me as rebellious. I didn't feel rebellious. It said just the reason you want the Joker because it was I could watch anything.
Yeah, but why'd you pick? Like, everything happened.
I think it was the darkness and the somberness, the stillness in the movie. It's so still. It's such a slow movie.
Yeah.
You watch him sort of deal with himself. You watch him isolation. You watch him deal with himself.
And it's crazy how he just fantasized his whole like intimacy with his neighbor, right?
Right. Again,
and it's crazy.
So because I'm healthy, but he's not. But he's still going deep within.
Yeah, and it's crazy how like he found himself in a way by being alone, and then him being alone made him crazy because he's crazy,
Right, but again, I think that this conversation, like, I like it because we're going so deep into the conversation that it starts getting meta and it starts turning on itself. Like, whoa, isolation? Maybe it's not such a good idea, and it's like. And for me as a person, I always like going there.
There's always balance.
Yeah, there's a balance. I'm saying I like going to the depth of the conversation because now we kind of start going into these topics that are like...
Yeah, it's like details that you need to be fulfilled.
Yeah, they almost like... It's like people don't talk about these details, but it's like, but there's the real.
It's real, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I think the realness is.
So that movie is basically saying that like too much self-isolation like during the COVID times can make people like crazy.
I don't know what I got it as. I felt, like I said, it's more I resonated with.
Depends on like who sees it differently.
Yeah, I saw the energy.
And do you feel that? Yeah, I feel the energy. Yeah,
I'm calm.
It is very calm.
I was writing.
It's like dangerous in a way.
Yeah,
but a good dangerous where like you're taking risks, like
I felt very safe because I was so distant from him as a person.
Yeah,
and yet close to madness. So it was very like polarizing. Again, like see, I don't know. I just enjoy.
I get you.
I enjoy going so deep within that you start working with these energies, these vibrations within.
I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's like you could almost trust like that was real, that was sincere, right? Like no one's gonna be like that doesn't sound sincere. It's like it doesn't. Does that not sound sincere?
It does. Yeah.
Anyway, our time is up. I think.
Yeah.
So what'd you say in closing?
Just say that. The environment you have really like focus on who you're surrounding yourself with. Honestly,
yeah,
it affects everything, and people just want to fit in and feel welcome, to feel belong, and in a way where like they want to have the resemble backs of like, okay, you're doing good. People want to be hearing that, like, oh, you're doing good, you're doing great.
But yes, and it's good at first, and then
after a certain point, it's just
you're gonna get that from very few people. Only people that need, and even them, the realer it gets, the more real their validation gets, or whatever. Like, let's just say, it could be a look, or it could be like Like the realer the validation gets, the almost less words to be spoken.
Honestly, yeah.
And
that's how you get a small group of friends, and then
because you're working with something so real now.
Yeah,
it's not generally.
It's
not the Whataburger. It's not the fast food validation. You're working with something. It's a vibration that's so intense that it's like, why are you? No one's gonna get it, dude. You're alone. Like you are in a different.
And that's where like there's balance with self-isolation and like the environment you're hanging out with, and that's why you want to have a good environment, because when you go back to that environment, you need to surround yourself with people who push you out of your comfort zone, who get you more ideas, who's not toxic, who's drama free. Like it's like something that help you influence someone or something.
Can I tell you something? I'm so not toxic that sometimes I find myself saying, should I be toxic? As almost like a and then I'll be like, I don't have time.
No, I don't.
It's
fun.
No, I don't. It's not
even fun.
It's not even fun for me. It's more just like,
I'm like,
you know what it is for me. The temptation to be toxic or whatever.
It's fun.
I hate that it exists in there. I hate that it exists in there, even if it's 1%.
Yeah.
That I'm like, maybe I should just do it then. If it's so busy with this 1% opinion. And I'm just weird. I have those thoughts too. I'm just weird like that.
No, I have those thoughts too. I want to be toxic. I want to be impulsive. I just think back. I'm like, dude, no, like the consequences,
Yeah.
And I sound like a freaking square, but it's like, dude, like I work too much time on myself, like on my business.
You're right.
My body.
100% right.
It's like I don't know if I can do with that.
Exactly. When you put in so much work into who you are, it's like. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And you'll literally look at yourself later like,
why?
Did you really do
Just
that?
because of the feeling.
Just to be stupid?
Just to have a moment for like 1 to 5 minutes. Like sometimes 10. Like it's not worth it.
It's dumb.
Yeah. We're like, I'm thinking about it.
That was the perfect